My dear son, this is going to sound strange, but there's this secret that the men in this family can travel in time. Wow.
Tim, will you do my back?
Oh no! Okay, stop. How would I actually
Go into a dark place. Think of the moment you're going to, and you'll find yourself there.
Tim, will you do my back? Oh, nice.
It's my area.
Any first thoughts?
It would be really great if you could help get me a girlfriend.
Wow. Massive.
I'm Tim.
I'm Mary.
Mary's my mother's name.
I remind you of your mother?
Obviously, I should have thought this through more. I'm Tim.
Mary.
I love your eyes. And I love the rest of your face, too. And I haven't even looked further down.
I'm gonna go into the bedroom and put on my new pajamas. And then in a minute you can come in and take them off.
I'm sure it'll be better next time.
My goodness. Well done. Some people make a real mess of it the first time.
Amateurs. This is Mary.
Good Lord, you're pretty.
Oh, no, it's just... I've got a lot of mascara and lipstick on.
Let's have a look. Oh, yes. Good.
You have to be very careful when you use it. The butterfly effect thing, that's a real recipe for disaster.
It's so good to see you.
We've never met before.
Oh, no. Every day up till yesterday is lost.
Just like for everyone else.
What are you going to do?
I don't know.
You have to use it for things that you really think will make your life the way you want it to be. My son.
My dad.
I hope I see you again.
You will. My whole life depends on it.
Although it's not as dramatic as it sounds. You can't kill Hitler or shag Helen of Troy, unfortunately.
Have we had this conversation before?
Well, yeah, it's a cunning plot to tell quite a simple tale about the fact that we should try and relish every day. So in order to say something quite simple, I tried to use the most complicated mechanism I possibly could. Well, I don't know. It is, but it is and it isn't. I mean, actually, the film did start there. I was having a conversation with my best friend, Simon, and we said if we just had one day, if we could pick a perfect day, what would we do? And we both decided we wouldn't, as it were, fly to Las Vegas and win $1 million and get a phone call that we got an Oscar nomination, because that'd be full of nerves and strangers and worry and everything, and that actually the perfect day might just be what we were doing, you know, having lunch with each other and going to have dinner with our families and breakfast with our kids. And I thought, well, that really is the basic lesson we've got to learn, to take life as you're living it and really relish it. So I think that's an important thing, and it's the thing that I'm trying to do, as it were. It's caught up. When I wrote my first film, I was trying to find a girlfriend. Now I'm just trying to find how to live each day in a happy way. So I thought I should write a film about that. Oh, well, that's a lovely thing of you to say. I mean, I think in the end, it is a film about family, which is something I feel very passionate about, my Australian family, in fact, as it happens. And when we cast the movie, the people who were all playing the family spent quite a lot of time together without thinking about the movie. We actually tried to really get to know each other and get to like each other. And so at the end of the film, when it really becomes about the relationships between brothers and sisters and husbands and wives and fathers and sons, I think there was something real there. And if I've caught that, I'm thrilled. Well, look, I hope I'm getting a tiny bit better, and I'd like to think that the film is prettier than the other ones, because I'm just, slowly focusing on that more, coming as I do from a satirical, very wordy TV background of Mark the Nine News and Blackadder. I've got a feeling that, my early films were more about words than they were about how things looked, and so I think that I'm using film a tiny bit better now. But I think maybe the fact that in this particular film, the wedding happens in the middle, and I've got to write about something else, is a sign of of maturity. Yeah, I mean, I think it's a terribly important observation that, you know, you leave your family, you find a girl, you get married, you think that's, you know, my way out. And then actually, you have another family with that girl, and then and her take care of your parents. And so, actually, there's no line between romance and family. It's a long circle. And this film, I think, you know, tries to say that. I've lost both my parents in the last couple of years. I mean, in the last 5 years, and so I've had a lot to think about, and it'd be great if the film reflects some of that. You know, it wasn't. It's funny you say that. I mean, it's only after I'd finished the film and I had to write an article that I realized how many time travel films I really liked. You know, in fact, I would say It's a Wonderful Life is probably more of an influence on this film, which is a kind of rather curious time travel movie. And then I realized, you know, how much I'd loved Groundhog Day and how much I recently liked Looper and how much I'd liked Back to the Future. But I didn't like watch Groundhog Day again while I was in the process of writing it. I should be so lucky, if it's anything like Groundhog Day, because I do remember it was a great film. No, I think that's my plan at the moment. I mean, we'll have to wait and see. But Bill Nighy and I were actually on the beach filming one of the scenes, and we said to each other, because, you know, you've got to get things right in movies. It's quite tense. And we said, maybe the next time we're on a beach, we should just be walking along a beach, chatting, instead of being on a beach with 50 people, you know, touching up Bill's hair and telling me we were running out of light and everything. So my plan at the moment is to maybe step back from the directing, which is the toughest of all the jobs, and it takes 2 years really to 3 years to get the job done.
It's not out of the question that you'll return to directing.
You should I should never say never, you know, who knows, but that's my plan at the moment. But in fact, I've just been in Brazil with my friend Stephen Daldry, where we're doing a movie based on an adaptation of a book called Trash, which is a wonderful book about 3 garbage boys who find a wallet that turns the world upside down. So I'm still in business. Well, I don't know. That's a very interesting question. I've been doing, Red Nose Day. I think we're going to reach £1 billion, I hope, by 2015 pounds that we raised. And I think it's very, very new for people to want to help other people. And if you went up to a normal person in the street and said, if you give us a day of your time, we can make $100,000. Or 50,000 or 10,000, you'd have to be crazy not to say yes. So I think that it's just people who get in a lucky position, then behaving like anybody would. No, I can't. Because I think it comes in all shapes and sizes. That's the interesting thing. I mean, when we did Not the Nikon News, which is quite a realistic sort of satirical show, because we were so terrified by Monty Python, which was a great, big, stupid, surreal show. And I think humor comes in all shapes and sizes. I think in all countries too. America's got Woody Allen. But it's also got Animal House and Porky's. I think the truth is there's no particular English humor. In some ways, my humor, a lot of humor is based on rather nasty people like, Blackadder or Basil Fawlty shouting at other people. And recently I've started to be much more interested in the problem of being nice. The sort of Vicar of Dibley, how difficult it is trying to be good. I think this film's probably more about that. A rather pleasant and polite bloke who really can't get what he wants out of life and has to time travel in order to get it. Well, one of the proudest moments of my life, one of my favorite comedians is the American comedian Chris Rock. And I bumped into him once, and he said, you know, I should hate your films, but they're full of man jokes. And I felt very proud about that, the idea there might be some man jokes in my movies. And, you know, I just try and always write stuff that makes me laugh. I never really say, well, I'm going to write a film. I've never thought, oh, I'll write a film that girls will like specifically. I just try and write stuff I like that makes me laugh. So I'm glad if some of that gets through. I know. I mean, it is a freaky thing. And I remember when we were going to show it at Sundance, Mike said, oh, God, have they really seen it? Because I think it might turn out to be a pig in a poke. And I've got a note from Universal saying their prediction of how much money it would make in America is zero. So I think that I give quite a lot of credit to Hugh Grant, you know. I give quite a lot of credit to when a really extraordinary sort of new star comes in. That's something, you know, like the first time you saw Julia Roberts in Pretty Woman or something. I think there's a big thing there. I'm going to give him credit today. Well, actually, that's an interesting question. Warhorse was extraordinary because working with Steven Spielberg, he's got the greatest sort of film imagination I've ever met. I've written a couple of films. I wrote a film this year called Mary and Martha, which was a very serious film about malaria, in fact. So I'll sort of do what comes my way, and certainly I would never have said no to Steven Spielberg. He can ask me to do anything, and I'll say yes. Well, that is the nicest thing anyone's ever said to me in the morning. And the second nicest thing anyone's ever said to me at night.